All right, guys, welcome to X-Ring Live. Thanks for joining tonight. We've got Rick with IY6C covered, and we have Bryson Allen with Bryson Shoots. We're going to give it a couple minutes, see if we get anyone in here. And I'm sure the topic of this evening will end up being long range. So, Bryson, what did you do today? Anything interesting, fun? I like the hat there.
Yeah, not really anything interesting or fun, just schoolwork and trying to get ready for the Nelson Sniper Challenge.
What did you do today with regards to getting ready? Anything?
Running, push-ups, burpees, a bunch of stuff that's not fun.
Well, nice. At least you're doing something.
Yeah.
Don't have any viewers, so this is not, I don't know if it's working out live or something's not. There we go. We got 4 guys. All right. So now it is working. Excellent.
It takes
Rick. Yeah, Rick, what'd you do today?
I did some shopping today. Unfortunately.
Well, tell us what you spent your money on.
I bought a new Pelican case. I bought some ELD match ammo for 223.
Yeah.
Long gun, and then bought a couple little gizmo jackets. I have to replace the buddies, so I bought another one of these. And then
M-lock rail sections. Yeah, so we're actually losing viewers, and I'm not seeing any comments, so I don't know what's going on with this.
Well, it's what happened. It'll work. Don't you worry. Up on the top by live, what's it say for numbers?
2.
Okay.
But I had 4 though, and I don't know who's in here, and I can't see the comments box.
Well, when they chat, they'll.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, Steve. Hey, Jackson. And thoughts of an old soldier. Yeah, Jackson, I didn't know how to take that last night. You were like, I did all the talking, and I was like, man, I don't know if he was upset that I talked too much or not. So I'm going to host tonight, and then we'll let these guys do most of the talking.
I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, we got 14 in here, so we'll see what's going on. So, guys, this is my first time ever hosting a chat or doing anything like that. I'm sure the topic is going to end up being long range because it just seems to go that direction. Hey, Keith, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. Getting quite a few in here. Lakeview Outdoors, X-Ring, do you have an Instagram? I do, but it is the X-Ring channel. And TB.
I answered him on Instagram.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it was just we're using this StreamYard, and so I didn't know if it was going to link into the YouTube and let people know that we were actually in here. So, Gun Addict, we are in North Carolina. Thanks, TB. I appreciate the support.
TB's
So, Rick,
supporter. Yes.
What did you do today? You got a Pelican case behind you there that I don't recognize. You got some M-lock rails.
I got M-lock rails, RSA QD mount for that sling. That way I don't have to run it through the where it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
And some ammo. That was like $420. This thing
wow.
$269.
Yeah, the Pelicans aren't cheap, but they're well worth it. Ruben, thanks for dropping in. Have a good evening. I know you got to go quickly, but and Joaquin and Holden Beach, nice. Been out there quite a few times.
I haven't been there. I haven't been down there. How far is that from here?
Oh, we're in the mountains, so depending, 5.5, almost 6 hours, maybe. Yeah, we used to go down to Edisto quite a bit, but that's in South Carolina. All right, so what are your biggest concerns for the Bushnell Elite Sniper match coming up, Bryson?
Be right back.
Biggest concerns. Rain, that's about it. I'm not really worried about anything. I'm pretty confident in my gear. And
okay.
Not too worried about you other than, yeah, it's just, it'll be fun. I'm just not looking forward to any rain if that's going to be an issue. But I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I want to say hello to everybody, but TB says it seems like we're not showing up, like it's buffering. But I think everybody else is coming through. Hey, Doug. Hey, everyone else. So what things do you think will slow us down the most other than me?
I don't think he'll slow us down at all. If anything slows us down, it'd probably be me getting used to stuff, not being used to the stages or the format of stages. But I don't really know that that's going to slow us down that much, just because of the fact that I'm so used to running, being very quick with stage plans, and being very used to going fast on the clock. So there's really nothing I think that's going to slow us down that much. I don't think that's going to be an issue because, I mean, you've got the experience, and I'm kind of, I'm comfortable behind the gun, so I don't really know. What about you?
Yeah, first thing, I want to say hey to everyone. I know that Rick had to step away for just a second. He'll be back in just a moment. Daniel said, hey, Daniel, it says feed is good. So the only thing I'm concerned about is my right knee because, like I said, if it goes out, we're going to have an issue. If that's the case, I'll have to move to mechanized division. I should be okay, but I haven't been able to do much running. Just having some issues with it right now from an old injury. But I think the rifles and all that are set up well. I actually compared quite a bit tonight with the Thunder Beast bipod versus the Atlas bipod.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Atlas. The weight difference is negligible. It's not even worth mentioning. The Thunder Beast is actually more stable because it has a wider footprint.
Yep.
But they are really close. What you give up in panning with the Thunder Beast is not important for this match because we're not shooting movers.
Yeah.
The match that we're shooting at this weekend, or not this weekend, but on February 21st, 2nd, and 3rd, is, Joaquin says it is buffering. It is going to be in Ellerbe, North Carolina.
Yeah. I'm really not worried about anything. It's just going to be, going out and having a good time. And as long as, you don't have any knee issues, I think it'll be fine. I mean, it'll be fun.
Yeah. I'll see Carolina BMW here. I don't know if I know him or not. I was tied into BMW pretty heavily at one time. It says, everyone mute your YouTube feed so it doesn't bleed through. I don't have a YouTube feed on right now, so
I don't either.
you should be good.
I don't either.
All right, question for X-Ring. What factory precision rifles would you look at around $3,000 rifle only? I know for a few hundred more, I could look at an AI, but I wanted to know your thoughts. Hello, Boris. How are you? We do have someone in the crowd, Oris Stepp with Borka Tools. I can't say enough good things about Boris. You guys have heard me talk about the Borka Tools. You guys know that I've been using that for a little over 10 years, but his 2020 kit is unbelievable. But I'm glad you could make it.
Hi, Boris.
Yeah, that's definitely on my next step of gear to get. That's something I've got to save for and get my word.
Yeah, so Mike Wenger posed a good question, but I'm going to let Rick answer first on what he would choose for around $3,000 for a precision rifle setup, rifle only.
I think Bryson's rifle. That was 3,500, wasn't it?
Depends on the model. Yeah.
Depends on the model.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really liking the T10. That was at 1,700. So.
Yeah, by tax and all, you were about 2, right?
2, yeah. So it's kind of tough because there's a lot of window in there.
Yeah.
And then Bryson, what are you running?
I'm running an Masterpiece Arms, and it is not the Curtis Custom. I think it's one of their actions, which actually makes it a little bit less expensive. So it's going to be right there in that $3,000 range. And I really would not. I mean, to get into long range, I was really lucky to start with that rifle, and I would highly recommend that to anybody.
Before we continue, is it just me or is it hard to hear Bryson?
I can't hear Bryson. Bryson is every other word. I don't know if it's too far away from him or what.
Let me try.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe we can check your audio a little bit.
You might be able to mess with his audio too as well.
Yeah, I was looking at on that for this, but I'm not seeing it for the guests. Hold on.
How is it now?
It's a little better, but
It's
you were buffering
better,
pretty bad. It's Bryson's mic. Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Okay, so if I had to guess, I still think your MPA is going to come in somewhere around 3,500 the way it sits.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
it depends. They have, I think mine was right at 3 as far as MSFE goes. And that's because of the action and everything on it. You don't get the Microtech diamond, you don't get some of that stuff that brings it down a little bit more. Because mine has basically every option.
Hey, Bryson, find that earpiece microphone.
Yeah.
Bryson.
Okay.
All right. So he's working on that.
If you got a wired one, that's what's tough is like right in that window again. You're talking, you know.
Yeah, Kevin said got to carry the other guys. No, he's just kidding. Okay, so for me, $3,000 is, and this came up not long ago because I had a friend of mine said I got $3,000 put aside. I want to buy a good precision rifle. Well, that's that magic number that doesn't quite get you where you need to be, but it's sufficient enough to get you something really, really nice. For example, like Rick's rifle, the Tika. So I don't know where that value is going to be found in that $1,000 because I know the Tika is going to be about $2,000 out the door, and I'm very, very impressed with that rifle, guys. And ultimately, you guys know it's always the Indian and never the arrow, but you do want good arrows and straight arrows. So most of these rifles, you know, even the PCR, you get a really competent shooter behind that rifle, that Remington PCR. That gentleman commented said he paid $800 for his. I mean, you can beat a guy with an AI or, you know, a Tika. It ultimately comes down to the shooter. But if I had $3,000, I would either save up a little more and get the MPA with like the Curtis Action or something like that, or I would settle for the Tika, and that's $1,000 you can throw towards a good optic because you want a good. Yep, you want a good optic first and foremost. Okay, it doesn't matter how expensive your rifle is. I mean, you throw an AI and throw a cheap optic on it, you'd have a cheap optic. You don't have a good shooting rifle, one that tracks anyway. So that would be my recommendation.
Well, that was kind of the thing when I bought mine. Sam had just bought that Remington a few days before, and I noticed how good that was, and I was like, okay, if I buy this thing, am I gonna wish I had bought something else? You know what I mean? Maybe a hair better, whatever the case was. And there was some things that I liked on the Tika. I like the action of the bolt; seemed a lot smoother.
Yeah.
The trigger on that Remington was an upgraded trigger. It's a Timony, right? Did you put a Timony in that, Ray?
Yeah, I was reading this. I guess we froze up for a minute. I don't know what's going on because we have all the internet off everywhere. So I'm just making sure. The Remington PCR, we did put a Timney in it, but that was a free one. That was one of the competitions. So that was money we didn't come out of pocket, but that's still a $200 trigger, and that did change it. I love the Defiance actions. If he's asking about Defiance, I guess the Defiance has a deviant action. Those are all great if you can source them. I like the Stiller actions. I'm a huge fan of Bighorn. If you have an opportunity to get a Bighorn, those hold tolerances almost better than anything else. I mean, you can actually get pre-fit barrels from Proof because they know that those numbers are going to be right on those. Let's see here.
How's my audio now?
You're much better, at least on my end.
Yeah. But that's kind of the thing. You take the 2,000, you still have $1,000. You can use it towards a bipod. You can use it towards a scope mount. You can use it towards a leveler. I mean, everything.
Yeah. All right, Ray Venom, we'll talk to you soon. With Tika, throw a $10 Yodave spring in, and it's basically good as any aftermarket trigger out there. And I know Manitou knows his stuff, so you know, I'm impressed with the Tika trigger, the one that Rick has in his T3 T3X A1. It's a 2-stage. It seems very similar, not quite as heavy on the first pull as an AI, but it's a good setup. I have no complaints with this trigger, and you haven't even adjusted it.
No, I thought it came in pretty much right where I need it right now.
Yeah.
It's probably
all right.
2.5.
What's up, East Texas Outlaws?
East
Okay,
Texas.
so Bryson, what do you think? What do you think your nemesis will be at this match? Will there be any, or do you try to go into everything with a positive mindset and I'm going to burn it down and win it?
I don't go down with the thought of winning. I also don't go in thinking there's going to be a nemesis. I know that I'm going in to put in work, and I'm going to have a good time and do the best that I can. I really try to come at everything with a positive attitude. I'm questioning a little bit because I've never been to a match like this. But, I mean, I'm never looking down on it or trying to be any negative whatsoever. Just because you come into a match like that, you're going to end up doing worse anyways. So just kind of looking at it positively and hoping everything's going to go well.
Hey, Jerry Bear.
Hey, Jerry Bear, I was actually typing hello in there.
I can't type.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So I'm going to go ahead and share with everyone a little bit of interesting history about this match. So the very first Bushnell Elite Sniper was 3 years ago, or basically they've had two. This will be the third year. I actually trained a gentleman, and we shot in that match. And in all these years of competition and everything else, I'm not even going to knock on wood because I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I've never been DQ'd from a match for any reason until that match. We were working in teams. We had actually had a really, really good first day. There's usually 60-plus competitors, almost 70 in this ruck match, I think, or it's teams. So you have that many more people. And we were actually killing it. Literally the first day, I think we were in the top. We were tied for second, and we had some stage wins. Day two, we had a lot of hang-ups with regards to timing on the event and everything else. And they had this one stage. It was what they called a trench warfare stage. And so it was supposedly set up similar to like a World War, II trench or something that you're in, and you're having to move through this trench and your head's, below the dirt. Well, the problem is, and I'm going to try to do this with my hands, is secondary shooter had to shoot, but the trench was actually at a slight angle. And I'm only talking about 3 or 4 degrees. Well, I was shooting, it's reversed on the camera, but I was shooting the opposite direction, and my partner actually went down about 15 feet away from me. And they said that he was forward of my shooting position, not forward of my muzzle, but forward of my shooting position. And we actually got DQ'd. I did not contest it. There was someone that actually had a video of us, and I'm still not disputing it now. I'm just telling you how it went down. He had a video of us, and the video showed that my partner was not forward of the muzzle, he was forward of me. And I know that's a really gray area. But anyway, we got DQ'd. They threw the stage out for the entire competition. 3 shooters after we were DQ'd. So it was a very unfair, I'm not going to say it's unfair, it was just a bad situation. It was my first DQ. I was very upset. I was not happy with my partner. I asked him why he went forward of my position, and he said to drop his backpack off. He wasn't even trying to engage any targets. He was just setting his backpack down. Didn't shoot it last year because I was out of town, but I had a lot of friends that shot it, and they left the match on the second day because they said it was poorly run and that the timing was off, and they were just running around in the circles and telling them, you need to be over here. And then once they got there, they said, no, you need to be over there. Once they got there, they said, no, you need to be over here. And they actually left along with some other people. So I'm hoping they've gotten things straightened out. I believe Todd Van Langen is going to be running it this year, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, DQs are something that's kind of hard to swallow, but it happens.
Yeah, Manitou says he had a DQ on his first 3-gun match.
Yeah,
so,
there's always going to be more.
It happens. Yeah, Rick, you've never been DQ'd, have you?
Not yet. Of course, I haven't ran a million matches either. So, but
that's true.
Question, the most important question you must ask yourself is, did you go to Dairy Queen afterwards?
I did not, because we had to sit around for about 3 hours before we were even able to leave the facility, because the way they had this thing set up is they had the 1,000-yard line, and we were to the right of the 1,000-yard line. No one could leave that location until the 1,000-yard line was clear, and they had just started. So there was no other way around. So we had to literally sit in the rain while it was pouring down rain for 3 hours, no vehicles or anything before they could escort us out.
Did you get a new hat, Bryson?
No, I've had this one for a little while. I just cleaned it up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Unthinkable. Hey, glad you joined. He says this is fascinating. He's a very, very average shooter. All it takes is a little bit of time and a lot of trigger time, and you'll get there. Most here, even in the comments, are way out of my range. I see what you did there, but seriously, I learned a lot. East Texas Outlawed. He ordered some Fort Scott munition projectiles and haven't loaded them yet. I have never used them. How about you guys?
No, I haven't. I reloaded a lot, and then reality with school and work hit, and I don't really have the time to reload it anymore.
He just likes shooting at it. You just like shooting it right now, Bryson.
Yeah.
I will. I'm gonna go ahead and tell on Bryson down there below. Okay, so a lot of the people that are in this chat are familiar with Bryson and Rick, because Rick has been doing some chats here lately, and I've been part of it. And I just wanted to see if I could actually run one myself, since I've never hosted one before. Even though Bryson is 18 years old, Bryson is one of the fastest shooters you will ever encounter. He shoots like a man. Okay. I know he's a man. He's a young man. He's 18. And just by his conversation that he acts a lot older than his years. And so when we started talking, I did not have a sniper partner for this match. And what better person than Bryson, but he had not shot a lot of long range. I think he probably had 2 months behind the gun with 4 sessions, maybe. He's a great 3-gun shooter, unbelievable open 3-gun shooter. If you guys followed my channel, Bryson went with me when we did the Pro-Am, and Bryson
I went with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happened, but he is what you would consider a pro shooter. He is a fully sponsored shooter. Just looking for a new sponsor, but yeah, he's definitely in the know, no doubt about it.
Well, I appreciate that, Ray.
Well, I don't mind pairing up with you. He can shoot a pistol really well. Most people that can shoot pistols very, very well tend to be, from what I've seen, good long range shooters, or they will learn it rather quickly. It's hard to take a rifleman and make a good pistolman out of them. Almost everybody, I hate to say this, and guys, there's this whole aura around this. Okay, what's the mystery of long range? Every single person on this feed tonight, within 5 minutes, I could have you hitting targets at 1,000 yards.
Oh yeah,
that's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. There is no doubt about it. Now, how we get there is another thing, but it's pretty easy to tell someone, okay, do this, aim, wait, hold left, hold right, fire. But it's getting someone trained up on, shooting off the belly or shooting off a bench at 1,000 yards is pretty easy with decent equipment. You don't have to have crazy high-end equipment, as long as you've got good equipment, a good mount, a good optic, and a good platform, capable of 1.5 minutes. It doesn't need to be a sub-quarter minute gun. Look at him fixing his hair. But it's easy to do that. But to take everyone on this feed tonight and say, I'm going to make you a master class USPSA shooter, it's not going to happen. Okay, it's very difficult. So those that know how to shoot pistols well, which Bryson can shoot a pistol well, I knew it was going to be a very short learning curve.
And I will say this too, with long range, you can easily get someone to take a shot. The issue is being consistent. So anybody can dial dope and zero in on a target and hit it. That's easy. It's being able to do it from so many different positions and different conditions to shoot those same targets at different times. It's just, you have to get used to that stuff. I mean, you can pull a trigger and be dead on if the rifle's set up right every time, but it's not always going to be perfect. And a lot of people don't consider that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What you'll usually see is they will say it is not a belly match.
Yeah.
Because almost everyone can shoot on their belly. It's a good, solid position, probably one of the best positions you'll ever be in. But for this entire match, we might shoot 1 out of the 13 to 15 stages on our belly at some point. Everything else will be in some awkward position. Rick, this question from Tim Davis is for you.
Well, I was just getting the answer for him. All right, here we go. Let me see if I can do this so I can see. 4-shot group. Another 4-shot group.
So, Tim, welcome to the channel. Apparently you haven't been on the chats before because Rick just recently got that exact rifle. He was kind of torn on what long-range rifle to get. Initially, I think he was looking at like a Ruger RPR because he didn't know if he was going to embrace the whole long-range game, and he went ahead and went full tilt and spent the money on the Tika. And not only was he impressed, I was also impressed as well. HS from Fort Worth.
Hey, Ray, I can show pictures of stuff. You're allowed to show pictures of stuff.
Whatever, just don't get the chat killed. Okay, so Manitou says, and Manitou knows a lot about long range stuff as well. He's been following the channel for quite a while. The TAC A1 is one of the best values out there as long as you like the chassis. And he's exactly right. That is a picture, YouTube, that is not the actual rifle itself.
That's just a picture.
Yeah, so he went ahead and painted it up the very first day. Let's go ahead and kill that, Rick, just so I don't get dinged.
Okay.
I don't have any strikes. I don't want to start. But he did paint it up with his multicam at the house. It was pretty neat. We went out to the range the very first day, and that thing was driving tacks right off the bat with 147 grain Hornady ELD match. I had a chance to shoot it. I have nothing bad to say about it that I can think of. Have I ever made any negative comments about that rifle?
I haven't heard any. No. It's great. I mean, for the price point, there's the Ruger RPR is going to shoot probably about the same, but I like this. The action is smoother. The trigger's better. It comes with 2 mags, 10-round mags, and they give you 1 free one. You just have to mail in your thing. Those are $90, by the way.
See you, Pops. Pops Quest dropped in, but he had to leave. The question by Jackson: do either of you shoot USPSA? Just wondering because there is one of the matches at the range I go to. I grew up shooting a lot of USPSA, and I'm not going to say that I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it while I did it, but I did get bored with it because that was kind of, now this was way back in the day. 3-gun was just starting to get onto the scene, and I was like, man, I'm having so much fun with USPSA, but now I can shoot long guns. And then shotgun came in because, you know, some 2 guns were around and 3 guns came in. And then I completely embraced that, dropped USPSA altogether. I have probably not shot a USPSA match in 15 years. How about you two guys?
USPSA now.
Yeah, see, I started in USPSA, and I shot it for probably 3 years before I got into 3-gun. I thought it was great while I was doing it, and as soon as I got introduced to 3-gun, I just kind of tossed it out the window. Just because there's so much going on with 3-gun, and putting a shotgun in my hand is like a game changer for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, years ago in the 90s, I shot a few IPSC matches, and then, I don't know, 3-gun. I like 3-gun. I like having more things going on. Shotgun, rifle, pistol, kind of stuff.
Yeah, USPSA was fun, but I really got bored with it really quickly.
Yeah, I do know that USPSA has evolved a lot with regards to you're shooting a lot of stages in a short amount of time. Entry fee is inexpensive. You know, a lot of the matches are only charging $20, $25. And, you know, I've got the equipment for it and everything else, but if I want to take the time to travel and shoot a match, Jackson, I'm probably going to shoot a 3-gun or a long-range match. That's just me.
Yeah, that designated marksman match was cool because I didn't need to know a bunch of different stuff like a shotgun and a pistol at the time, so I did like that as well. So I'm starting to really like that as well. But that has nothing to do with USPSA.
Okay, so Shay Cabler, I think it is it really a $300 entry fee? No. The match that we are shooting in is a $500 entry fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, the team sniper matches are going to run on average anywhere between $500 to $600, but you also have to factor in they are multi-day events. They're usually 3-day events, and that just means even more money because you have You have hotel and all of that factors in, and 3 days worth of food and everything else. Okay, so
no, the food you got to eat anyways. You can't count that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I am not
the Jam-O-Matic.
Okay, this is going to be so tough to. Okay, just leave it alone.
Don't do it. Just don't. I would no. Just don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Save
So
your
I
money.
didn't know if he was doing this saying don't buy it or telling me not to answer that. I can't answer that right now because no, I can't answer it. Okay. Mossberg is supposed to be sending me some things to try out, but I have never had.
Let me answer it. Can I answer it?
You answer it.
I have no sponsors, nor do I care at all. All right. So the Mossberg 940, the Jerry Mitchell model. I heard the joke is they call it the Jam-O-Matic. With that said, for the same price range, give or take, the Stoger I would go with over that. Of course, I'm shooting a Benelli in 2 now, but the Stoger is a great, good budget, possible 3-gun shotgun, if that's where you're going.
I will say, without trashing any firearms, there's a lot of firearms in the 3-gun world now. A lot of stuff that people have come out with over time saying that it's going to be great for 3-gun, blah, blah, blah. They build up a lot of hype for it. There's a firearm made by Mossberg, and it is the previous model to the 940. It's I think the 930. Rick is right in saying it was the Jam-O-Matic Pro.
Yep.
I have never, in ROing a ton of matches, shooting a ton of matches, I've never seen more of one firearm go down so consistently. I mean, I think there's one guy I know out of probably 500 that I've seen have one that runs well. Everybody else ends up having their guns go down, and they end up saving up and buying a Benelli in the long run. Which, if you're really looking to get a quality shotgun, I would save your money and get a Benelli. I know it's a pretty penny, but it's worth it in the long run.
I will 100% agree with your statement about getting a Benelli. If you take it, you don't have to have one to shoot 3-gun. But if you are that type of person that is finishing in the top 10%, I would say your majority of those shooters, if they're not shooting some type of an open shotgun, they will be shooting a Benelli.
Yep.
But I will give you this. If you're just starting out in 3-gun and want to see if it's something you enjoy doing, and you need a shotgun anyways, and you don't want to spend $1,500, $1,800, the Mossberg is the Stoger is a great shotgun to use.
Yeah, for the price of entry, I would probably have to agree to that. I know, like what Bryson was saying, the older 930, especially with me being a match director and all of that in years past, there was something common that I saw quite a bit with the old 930 JMs, and that would be it would leave the hole in the chamber, and the ejector would actually rip the side of the case out. It was really common with aluminum-based shotgun holes. And that shotgun is done. You're not clearing it on that stage. You're not going to be able to get it out. You're not going to be able to put anything at the end of it. So you're taking not only misses for every shotgun target, you're also getting failure to engages. You will not come back from that. We'll see you, Manitou. We'll see you, Danny.
There was literally a guy at Fort Benning Multigun who was running one, and I think it was a 48-round shotgun stage. And for me, it was easy running, an open shotgun because I can pop a mag in and go to work. But the guy literally loaded up his shotgun full, took one shot, jammed the gun up, and I think he spent I think timeout was 180 seconds, and he ended up spending like 120 trying to get the shell out of the gun. He finally got it out, took one more shot, the gun jammed up on him again. So that was just 120 more seconds to add, plus all the penalties of him not hitting anything, and it's really not worth it. If you want to take it seriously or just want a quality shotgun, save your money. I mean, the Stoger's a great firearm too, but if you really want something that's quality, that's going to last you a long time, you can't go wrong by buying a Benelli, plus the fact your resale value is always going to stay.
Correct. The other thing is you know, a lot of people will say, well, the Stoker's the same. It is not the same.
It
Okay.
kicks way.
Yeah. Okay. So Rick actually has both.
I have both,
And so he can tell you.
Kicks harder than the Benelli does for sure.
And you guys might say, well, oh, you just need to man up. You just need to understand at these major competitions, you're taking 250 shotgun, and on some of the stages, you're shooting it literally as fast as you can get the bead on it for 15, 20 shotgun rounds. So it's not that you can't handle it. It's just your splits are longer. Now, if you want something as close to the Benelli as you can get without getting a Benelli, that's probably going to be a Breda. I think there's interchangeable parts. Now, before you say too much, as far as working or operating system, that's what I said, and I was clear about that. There's a certain percentage, 80-something% of the parts will go straight out of a Breda into a Benelli or vice versa. So if we're talking about apples to apples, that would be your closest, but Bryson also has some experience with the Bredas, and that's why he was kind of grinning.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Bredas go down as well. You know, and not being someone who's sponsored by Breda or Benelli, so kind of untasked there. If you a lot of the guys who shoot for Breda have great working firearms, and a lot of times that's because they have to send stuff back to get parts rebuilt or redone, new springs, new cams, all that stuff. Not to say that there's anything wrong with the gun, but I think they're still working out some quirks because they are so new. I think some of their manufacturing processes still need to be updated just a little bit. That's why, you know, I had a couple opportunities with them, and I ended up passing just because the Benelli's tried and true, and for about the same price, you can buy a Benelli, and even getting a used Benelli. That's what I personally did when I got into 3-gun, was found a used Benelli, spent roughly around $1,000, saved quite a bit of money, and did the work myself. But you know, I've got a quality firearm that I can run in competition and, you know, be happy with on a top tier level. And I did that with TAC Ops Division a couple of years ago with a Benelli.
Yeah. So Florida Bearded Fisherman has a good question. What Benelli? And, you know, that's a valid question because you've got the M1s, the M2, the M3, the M4. A lot of guys will buy the M4 just because it looks cool. You don't want anything with a pistol grip. I'll tell you, if you're going to get serious about 3-gun competition, you want a Benelli M2. You want it with the Microtech stock. Do not, M2. Look at Rick, he's getting creative over there. 2M, M2. The M1 actually kicks a little harder. Okay, some of the older, man, I don't even want to say his name because all the crap that's being surrounded by him right now. But there is a company that has a T and a T in it, and I had one of his built M1s, and you cannot compare it to just an off-the-shelf M2 with the Microtech stock. So that's the one you're going to want to get, and then you'll probably end up putting a Nordic Components magazine tube extension on there. So we've got 39 people in the crowd here, and I appreciate everybody showing up. Like I said, this is my first chat I've ever hosted. So for those that don't know me or know the chat, what are you pointing at?
Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, well, I hit the subscribe button. But when it comes to 3-gun, because we haven't talked about 3-gun a whole lot on some of Rick's chats and everything else, and for those of you who have heard it, I'm not saying it in a bragging way, but just so people know that this is good information, I was the 2018 3-Gun Nation Factory Division Nationals champion. So the information that I'm giving you and Bryson is giving you, I know everything comes down to opinion, but this is not just a YouTube chat with a bunch of guys. These are guys that actually compete in, as far as Bryson and myself, actually compete at the top level. So it's good information, and by sharing this information, it'll keep you from making some of the mistakes that I made in learning. My very first 3-gun shotgun, I was that idiot that went out and bought an M4. I kept it for 1 week, realized I had screwed up, bought the wrong shotgun, sold it at a huge loss, and ended up buying an M2 because I didn't know any better. This information wasn't out there so easily.
Yeah, that's one thing. Ray knows his stuff in this sport, especially 3-gun, long range, all that stuff. He's
well, you do as well.
Knowledge.
Yeah, well, I do appreciate that, but I mean, you do as well. I mean, okay, so when Bryson and I started shooting together, now I use that word factory division. In my opinion, in 3-gun, it is the hardest division.
It is.
There's a reason for that. In 3-gun, you are only allowed to put 15 rounds in your pistol, period. It doesn't matter how long your magazine is. 15 rounds, you got to do a reload. Your shotgun can physically only hold 8 rounds in the tube, 1 in the chamber. So you're going to be starting with 8. Then they'll say load it up, you'll have 9. Your rifle must be a red dot. It cannot have a magnifier on it. You can't have a bipod. You can't run extended magazines. So you're doing a lot more reloading in all these stages. Bryson shoots practical division, or what they call tactical division. It depends on which organization you're shooting 3-gun in. It used to be 3-Gun Nation. You got all these other ones now. Those guys get 140 millimeter length magazines. So typically 21, 22 rounds of pistol. Shotgun can hold 13 plus 1, and rifle can hold extended magazines. Bryson just made the switch last year to open. Open is pretty much run anything. Yeah. Okay, run what you ever want to. Now, I can't be that loose with it, but you can run 170 millimeter mags for your pistol. Your rifle can have dual optics and bipods, and your shotgun can be magazine fed. So, yeah, these guys are burning a lot of rounds. And how many rounds
can that pistol hold there, Mr. Bryson?
Mine holds 32.
Yeah.
So that was one thing with
I wonder why you were missing all the time. You didn't care.
So
just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Great shooters.
Open division is very different than factory or practical. It's a lot more of a drag race.
Yeah.
One of the main reasons why I switched to that is when you get into 3-gun, you kind of notice there's little trends of top shooters in different divisions. And a lot of the shooters that I was competing against, I always want to go against someone who's better than me. So I want to compete against someone who I can learn from, who can beat me, because I want to be able to go back and forth, go head-to-head with them, and see if I can get better. So with open, a lot of guys were moving to open division, and my sponsors at the time were actually having me help them work on a pistol to shoot open. So I ended up making that switch and kind of went into the whole drag race thing. And you can see there's a bunch of video on Ray's channel of, my distant arms KL12 and that kind of stuff. That's some fun gear to run, to be able to go fast. And, you can go fast and not slow down. And there's people who have seen me do it, a second and a half for a low ready plate rack, or I think my fastest time on a plate rack was 1.2 seconds, and that's from, low ready with a shotgun at 15 yards. So it's fast.
Yeah. Yeah, unthinkable. He said the first time I saw X-Ring doing a knife review, doing a hacking on a block of wood, little did I know. Yeah, okay, so this is a good topic. I'm going to change gears for just a second. Thanks for that ad, Bryson. Okay, so all of the gun channels started getting hit really, really hard with demonetization. Look at that. 3 Microtechs on the screen. Where's that third one at?
Trying to figure out
he's got on
there. It is. All right, so I said, you know what? I need to branch out, and because I believe in Microtech, and I've been carrying these knives for 19 years now, actually 20. This makes 20 years that I've been carrying that knife. I actually reviewed it on the channel. I bought this in 2000, and it's been in my pocket every day. But I started doing some of the torture tests, and it grabbed a whole lot of other people. So thanks for picking up on the channel, Unthinkable. Glad to have you. Oh yeah, look at all these freaking. Look at these. Wait, yeah, we're gonna call this the Microtech chat.
Hang on, Rick. I got to do this to you, man. I'm sorry, but mine's bigger than yours.
We've seen this video. Who out there on your channel has seen this video, and why are those 2 stains on there?
If you've seen the video of me throwing the one in the parking lot across and running it over with a lawnmower, that is the actual knife that I used for that video.
Here's the one I drug behind Ray's vehicle.
This is the mini SOCOM Alpha that we torture tested into the tree and everything else, the fixed blade. I do keep them around. So yeah, awesome stuff. Here's one I've never reviewed, but it's a SOCOM Elite in the bronze. I actually use that quite a bit. You guys can see it on there. Best knives, really. If you're looking for the best quality out there, it's hard to beat a Microtech. Really is.
For sure.
This is the one Ray gave me.
Yes, I did. I did.
And I lost it for 6 months. Didn't know where it went.
And then I
Yeah,
gave Bryson, along with the owner, we gave him that one there.
Yeah, my SOCOM Elite, this was something I made a commitment to carry one of these knives every day, and I have not stopped carrying this knife, and by far it is the best pocket knife I've ever had. I've used this thing more than any fixed blade or any other folder I've ever had. It's unbelievably sharp, and it stayed sharp since day one. I would highly recommend a SOCOM Elite manual. I don't care who you are or what you do, you need one of these knives.
Yeah, you see that? We went from long gun to 3-gun to Microtech. We bounce squirrel. No, we bounce around, guys.
Someone say knife.
We're all knife and gun guys.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Check out this.
Man, I don't even have a Microtech hat.
I got. Look, I haven't even taken the liner out of it yet. I put it on.
Yeah, Bad Billy, the Merlot SOCOM Elites are awesome. They really are.
Yeah,
I think I've got one upstairs. I'm not leaving the chat to go get it.
Is it a auto?
Yeah, it's combat, or they're making the Merlot in a couple different colors. Unthinkable says, well, it worked because I'm sure not the only one who eventually saw you shooting. Okay.
What is it?
It was blown away.
Seriously, you guys have quickly gone to the top. Well, we appreciate it. We really do. It covers up the screen when I have a long comment.
Yeah.
All right. So what else can we talk about 3-gun related? For most guys wanting to get into 3-gun, I'm going to go ahead and say for the money, I'm going to recommend 2 manufacturers for your first pistol. The most common and probably the one that will suit you the best will probably be a Glock 34 and 9mm. Or you could go a 17L depending on what 3-gun thing you're doing, because they don't recognize any difference in the barrel length or whatever, and more barrel is going to give you a longer sight radius. I would not have said this until about a year or so ago, because a lot of guys are going to say Springfields and M&Ps and things like that, but I'm probably going to have to say a CZ, like the CZ Orange, the TSO. That is a really, really nice pistol. But now we're not in that $500 price point either. Moving on up, if you get a little more serious about it, you're going to go up to a 2011. Kind of like I can.
So much more fun when you could show all your cool stuff.
I know. You know, if I could lay them out, and when they used to allow guns, there is a huge difference, and I know it's a lot more money.
Did someone say 2011?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, 2011 is the cream of the crop. I think just about everybody in 3-gun started with a Glock, and then slowly moved up. And it's just part of the sport.
Yeah, Pistols Pete says you need to blend your own magwell in the TSO. That is one of the things that I noticed messing with those.
Which makes no sense. Not when you buy a TSO.
Okay, 45 Auto, great question. Do you guys shoot in competitions that allow newcomers? Every single event that you're going to find will allow new shooters, and they're very accommodating towards new shooters. During the shooters briefing, they will usually ask, and don't be ashamed to do it, they will ask, are there any first-time shooters here today? Raise your hand, because that's going to give the RO an understanding of where you're at, and that you might be nervous, you might not know all of the rules. The biggest thing to remember is you never, ever, ever insert a magazine, loaded or unloaded, into any firearm until you are on the line and given the command to load and make ready. I've seen so many people go home without ever firing a shot because they show up to the line. Law enforcement is really bad about this. They'll show up to a line with a pistol that's hot or a magazine's in, and they're like, well, it's not loaded. Well, there's not one in the chamber, but the pistol is technically loaded, and that sends you home. So, yes, almost all matches are. Yeah, the magazine's loaded. Yeah, you cannot insert any magazine into anything. That being said, some of these local matches, they do allow, I hate to say it, I'm going to call them out, they will allow your tubes and the shotguns to be preloaded, but nothing in the chamber. It depends on where you're shooting. Isn't that right, Bryson?
Yeah, that's it's kind of not uniform when it comes to that stuff. A lot of guys some people are more laid back, and others are very serious. If you end up going to a major match, they will, help you out if you're a new shooter, but they all take safety very seriously. That's something we have to take seriously, no matter whether you're a new shooter or not. You break the rules, you're going to be the example, but you only do it once.
All right, that is a great question by Bobby Brown. If you could only own one gun, what would it be? Now, when you say one gun, are you talking long gun or are you talking just any gun? Somebody says you're allowed one gun, and this is a hot topic right now too, especially with our rights that have been taken away from Virginia. Even though I'm not in Virginia, they're slowly picking away at our rights. That bill passed today, and I don't like the way this country is going. This is not going to turn into a political thread. I try to avoid those because of stuff I do for a certain workplace. And so I'm not at liberty to talk. I'm a huge Second Amendment supporter. But, yeah, I don't like the way this country is headed right now at all. So with that being said, Bryson, one gun, what would it be?
Ooh, I wouldn't let it get to the point of one gun, but it would probably be an AR platform rifle, just because I love the AR platform. There's so much you can do with it. You can shoot close range, long range. There's just so much stuff. It's hard, but top it off with something variable power optic, something like that. Chamber 5.56. It's easy. It's simple. I'm pretty basic when it comes to that stuff, but that's probably what I would own.
Rick?
I want to say the same thing, because when you say one gun, that's basically the receiver that has the information on it to be called a gun. So you can put all sorts of different uppers on it. You can run different stocks on it. So you could have a close quarters combat, long range. You could have a little tiny freaking pistol. Shotgun's a good thing too, though, because you can reach out to 200 yards and shoot a slug, or you can have, home protection-y kind of gun. Pistol you can conceal better than any, but you're supposed to use a rifle or use a pistol to get to a rifle. So why not? If you can only have one, then it'd be an AR platform.
And I am going to concur on all points, because the big one being, if you can only have one gun, it doesn't limit you on uppers or calibers. You can take an AR and put a 5-inch barrel on it, or you can put a 24-inch barrel on it, and you've got something that'll reach beyond 1,000 yards and something that you can use in CQB. So that would be my choice as well. Plus, the other thing is parts availability. It is one of the most common platforms you will ever find, and so parts will be readily available. That would be my first choice as well.
And that's where the shotgun is bad, is you can't, you get 30 rounds, 40 rounds, 60 rounds with an AR. So
yeah. Okay, so Tim says his would be a 1022, and that would be great, especially if we're in we had an EMP or something like that for hunting, putting food on the table would be good. However, you can't really reach out there and it's not going to defeat body armor. Whereas the 5.56 can do that depending on the time and situation. Manitou has a great question here. What is your do-all upper length for 5.56? These guys will tell you I do not own a 16-inch AR. I don't have one in my possession. Everything I have is 18 or longer or really short.
Yeah.
So for me, 18 inches, because I can do really long range with it, and it's only an extra 2 inches over a 16. So what do you guys say?
Black Beauty.
Black Beauty is a 20-inch gun, but it's too long for close quarter stuff. I mean, you can do it, but it's difficult.
I would say my 3-gun rifle, and that actually has a 17-inch barrel.
That's right, 17.7 inches or something on that one.
Yeah,
I know you like those little shorty 13s, but it'll do it. It hit targets at 700.
I don't know. I like the shorty. I ran a 16-inch gun for quite a few years and loved it. I've shot past 700 yards with that. But, I mean, I don't know. It's 16, but my 13.5 lately I'm really starting to love, just because it's short, it's compact, it's easy to get anywhere you want, and it'll do the work you need it to.
Yeah. See, Manitou and I are like-minded. We either have short or we have really long. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with a 16 at all. It probably is the best of both worlds. but I have two mindsets. I'm either going to be up close and personal, or it's going to be long range. Says just say no.
Well, and Timothy Davis on a kind of a prepper note, where you got to carry, say, 1,000 rounds of ammo. You got to go from point A to point B, and you have to bring whatever you're going to bring. And that you're trying to get some food on the table. I think that's where he's going.
Yeah, really valid point. But like I said, you lose that long range and then the ability to penetrate body armor. You guys, if you do watch the channel, I did have a pretty interesting video that I pulled down, but it was a really short upper. It was a 5-inch barreled upper from Veritas Tactical, and had a lot of people comment. Not a lot of people, but there were quite a few that commented negatively on how stupid that was. And the video that I did, I took level 2A and level 3A vests and was able to punch through them without any issue. Okay, and you're like, well, what does that prove? Well, you have something that's really compact, really small. It's more powerful than a pistol, holds 30 rounds, will defeat body armor, and is still somewhat decent at 100 yards. Veritas Tactical has put some videos out where they proof those at 100, and it's going to shoot like you would your pistol at 100 for most people. It's not going to give you the accuracy of a rifle, but what you're gaining is the penetration capabilities of it, of going through soft, body armor. So, how short is too short? I don't know. I wouldn't go any shorter than that, but I think optimal, if you're going to go short, is going to be that 8 to 10 inch range on a 5.56, and then from there, because even with 10 inch, like the Daniel Defense, was it Mark 18? I've hit targets with those things out to 700-ish, just like you did with the 13.5.
Yeah, I definitely think guns like that are capable of it. And it's kind of cool to do it with them because they can handle it.
Yeah.
Bringing that in close and running that same gun, it's kind of cool to bounce back and forth with that.
Yeah.
It's good shooting.
I think most people would be deaf if they shot a gun in their close quarter home. I think most people don't think about that enough. True to a point and thinkable. And the reason I say to a point, it's kind of like I don't hunt any longer, but if you hunt, typically you never hear that shot when you're shooting at an animal because your adrenaline and all that kind of shuts down those auditory senses. Yeah, can you still hear? Of course you can hear, but after that first, you're doing damage to your hearing, but most people aren't going to stick around if AR goes off somewhere.
Well, that's kind of an argument with suppressors in the house, too. There's people like John Lovell, I think he was the one that I talked about. He wants to be loud and as scary as possible.
He wants the biggest bark out there, because most people are not going to run towards gunfire in an area like that. If someone is breaking into your home, almost everyone, they're going to be doing a smash and grab. And if that smash and grab went wrong because they didn't know that someone was in the house, if a round goes off, they're leaving. Not many people are going to stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson said he used to hunt pigs with a 45-70 and never even heard it. Jerry says arrow precision is good. They do make good quality stuff. There's no doubt about it. Florida Bearded Fisherman, I have a 7.5-inch Noveske barrel pistol, and it is a tack shooter. Yes, if you've watched my channel, I have one that I call the Trunk Monkey. It's got a 7.5-inch barrel, and even at 200 yards, it will still hit 8-inch steels all day long. Now, it starts to drop off significantly after that, but it's still a great firearm.
It's funny you mentioned home defense. We had someone actually try to break into our house, and I was at home, and verbal commands are very scary to them as well. When someone's trying to break into your home and they hear someone very, very loudly and clearly stating what would happen if they came through the door and why they needed to leave, people get scared. And it was just a couple of guys who were, probably tweakers, and that was stopped very quickly without violence.
Tweakers.
Bryson is a sweet guy.
Bryson's a lot bigger than he looks. What are you? Aren't you like 6'2"?
6'3".
Bryson doesn't cuss at all. Very church worthy. But did you cuss at him?
Yeah. I told him quite a few words. There was actually two guys. There was one at our front door and one at our back door, and I let him know very quickly that he was going to meet God if he decided to come through that door. And he was taking a couple of tugs at the door, and as soon as I made my presence very well known, they decided to leave quickly.
Yeah, that would have been a bad day.
Oh yeah, and when we had law enforcement show up, now it's legal in an emergency situation, but at the time I was 14, and I ended up putting the firearm away and had a magazine in my back pocket. And the officer who arrived asked me if I was proficient with firearms, and it just so happened that day that I was wearing a shirt that one of my sponsors had provided, and ended up talking to the officer about firearms, and he had asked me why there was a mag in my back pocket. So it's an interesting conversation with an officer who's arriving for a attempted home invasion.
Well, Bryson, as well as you shoot now, you at 14 were probably out shooting 95% of most police officers.
Yeah,
and I say that in the utmost confidence. So, all right. So TB says, does YouTube allow you guys to shoot crossbows? They do, and I actually tried to line one up. I have a crossbow, but it's an older one, and I was wanting to get one of those. I think they call them Ravens. They can shoot like 1 minute of angle at 100 yards, and I know those are like $1,600. And since I don't hunt anymore, other than just having it around to target shoot, that wasn't one of those things that I was going to spend that money on. The question, what are the best earmuffs out there? Oh, this is a great one on the market. What do you guys say?
Well, lights. What are they called? Lay light?
Howard and Lights.
Howard Light?
Those are good. I have 3 pairs of those. But my favorite ones are the ones SoCal gave me. What are those? Can't show them.
Okay, so up above me, I literally have, and I said the word literally, right, Rick?
Yes.
There's probably 20 pairs of ear protection. Everything from Howard Lights to Peltors to MSRs. I mean, geez, pretty much any manufacturer you can probably think of.
He's not lying either.
Yeah. I like the Howard Lights for the money. And let me just grab them so you guys can see some examples.
The gel pads there. Those really spice them up. Those make it worth the money. They cost about half of what they cost, though, for just the gel.
I'll be the troublemaker when it comes to that. I'm not a big fan of muffs. Just because of long-range shooting and shooting 3-gun. I wear a lot of in-the-ear, like the Walker's electronics. I actually switched over to the Grizzly ears, which are an electronic Bluetooth set. I will listen to music before a stage and kind of get in the zone, and I can lock people out with the sound just to focus on my stage plan. I'm a big fan of in-the-ear and electronics. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's something that's worth it when you're in the industry.
I use those, I used to use those a lot for shotgun stuff.
Okay, so here we go. A lot of guys will use, and what Rick was recommending were Howard Light Impact Sports. Okay, this was like a limited edition model or whatever, and it had this band on it instead of the standard one. And I think Howard Lights you can get for about $9.
$9.
There are a lot of law enforcement agencies that use these because they are cheap. What's that? What'd you say?
It sounded like you said $9.
No, $59. And they're great. Yeah. And they have some of the best electronics in them comparing to some of the other ones I'm going to get to very quickly. The problem is the cups are too shallow. And so the way they fit on your head, when you put eye protection on, a lot of times the bottom will bevel out, and especially shooting rifle. These are horrible for rifle. They are low profile. That's what they've got going for them, but they don't seal really well. there are some other companies like Peltor, like these. I don't know if you guys have seen these before. They still make some that are similar. There's some guys that make little knockoff ones. These fit really, really well. They're not electronics supported or anything like that, like these are, where they have the amplification, but they work well. They're super light. Great. Love them. The military and a lot of tankers and everybody else will use the MSA Swordens like this. I think this company's been bought out or purchased by someone else, but I hate the electronics. Some of the most comfortable ones you'll ever use. You can also get gel cups, and that changes everything, but I hate the electronics.
Yeah, the Howard Lights you can get gel cups also, but I have the other version of those MS. What are the MSMs?
The MSAs. These are about $300.
Yeah, I got SoCal WTF SoCal game. Mine have the older ones with the higher bottom part.
Correct. Yeah, for being able to use a helmet. I mean, I even got Peltor comm sets, and to make it simple, I don't shoot in muffs a lot. Get you some actual ear protection like this. This company was EAR. This set is from 2014. They're 6 years old. And the thing is I really protect my hearing because I don't want to be deaf in the next couple of years. You can't hear anything with this. The problem is you really can't hear anyone talking to you with these on. And so it's really hard to hear commands.
That's where, when Ray talks about those are great. My issue was when I got custom molded ear pro, because I'm still young, my ears are still developing, so I would grow out of them once a year. That's why I switched over to getting like the Walkers or the Grizzly ears. That's why I switched to the Grizzly ears now, because they're electronic. You can change the inserts to be larger or smaller depending on your ear size. Plus the fact that when it comes to buzzers and stuff, you can hear people talking, you can hear all that stuff, but it cancels out as soon as there's a gunshot.
Yeah.
You can go
guys, don't get the ones that you mold yourself. Those are horrible. You can't even compare these to those. These are quieter than anything else you'll ever put in your ear, and that's plain and simple.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple sets of these. Just go ahead and spend the money, do it once, and as long as you don't lose them, you're good to go. I'm going to agree with the other guy's comment. Getting the inexpensive Peltors is probably the way to go, because of how light they are and how inexpensive they are. Olight says, says, Olight is top notch in my books, mainly because of the support for guns and gear. Okay, so this is going to be a sensitive topic. Some guys are going to hate me for this. I was given an Olight flashlight. And you guys that watch the channel know that I do a lot of premium products. Most of the flashlights are going to be Surefires or Streamlights or things like that. I like the Olight. I bought one out of town because I had forgotten to bring a light with me, and I carried one for about 2 years. I still have that light. I have nothing bad to say about an Olight. So I picked up another one, loved it, and then I was contacted about doing a review for one, and I did it. I can handle negative comments, but the amount of hate to those comments with regards to it being a Chinese company really surprised me. I did some research on it because apparently in China, there are companies that are independent companies, and they kind of pay their stuff to the government, like taxes, kind of like we do. But then there are government-owned companies where most of that funding is going straight to the government. Someone said Olight is one of those companies. I never could confirm that. I do know they support a lot with guns and everything else, but ultimately, I don't know if that is just for the fact that they just want more money. But what really turned me off of them was when they do their blasts for their sales, every single person you watch, doesn't matter if it's Such, KB30, and I like Don with Such, I'm not calling him out, but all of your major channels do this big Olight blast. It's great marketing, but I don't want to feel like everybody else. I'm going to release this on the exact same day for this huge sale. So I have a problem with that, and I no longer review Olight.
Yeah, I think keeping a flashlight on you is really important. I learned that very well when we went to Rock Castle and did the whole cave experience. Not having flashlights on you So after that experience, I started carrying a flashlight all the time.
Yes, always.
Yeah, I learned my lesson harsh there.
Bald and Curious says, why is Rick here? Manitou has a good question. How's the sound reproduction on the Grizzlies?
I think it's really good. You could double check all the numbers on their website, but I have always been comfortable between shooting in, Connex boxes to, big, tubes and stuff. I've never had an issue. My ears never really hurt. They're comfortable.
Okay, has another comment. He's made some comments that are worth addressing, and so thanks for that, Bryson. But he said, other than the Olight, he would spend the same on Surefire. Not spend more, but compare. All right, I'm a huge Streamlight guy. I've had more Surefires go down on me, and doesn't know this. Let me grab one. Y'all go ahead and keep talking.
I will say that Streamlight is kind of where I spend my money as far as lights go.
That's how I am. Better than Surefire.
They're quality, they're reliable. Law enforcement trusts them, and I trust them. I keep one of their weapons lights. I mean, that's a huge thing for me, and I had to take this off the gun that it was on. But Streamlight is really hard to beat.
So let me kill that comment so we can see a little better. Talk about Surefires, and these are ones that I bought, not were given to the channel, but everything from E1L Outdoorsman's to Defenders to the weapons light, even to a $5,000 Hellfire. Surefire makes great stuff, but I would not spend the money for the difference in a Streamlight. I like Streamlights. I run Streamlights on all my weapons lights. They have a lifetime warranty. You have a problem, you crack a lens, you send it back. I've had more Surefires go down on me than any other manufacturer.
And they're quite a bit more, too. That's the one thing. They make a great light, but they're just too much.
Yeah. TB, I appreciate that. Black Ghost. And has a good point. Let me go ahead and jump to this first. Only company to support and raise money for a tragic loss of a reviewer. That is true. They do a lot of good. There was another story behind that. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not well versed enough to know everything else behind it, but I do know that they did a good thing there. Black Ghost, I've had some experience with that exact scope. I cannot say anything bad about Steiner at all. I will say that some of their reticle options were kind of bad in the beginning, but they've addressed that here lately, and they have some good reticles. Same topic kind of came up yesterday about tangent theta scopes. Of course, Steiners aren't as much as tangent thetas, but as long as you got the reticle, I will definitely check it out. I do try to keep all my reviews 100% honest about the product, and if I don't believe in it, I'll tell you I don't like it.
Well, and you don't really own stuff that's junk either.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's fair. Or if I do pick up something accidentally that's junk, I won't have it long.
Yeah, true. You'll say, "Hey, Bryson, you want to buy this? It's really good." No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
hey,
and
you want a new loophole?
Yeah. Thoughts on the 6.5 Creedmoor round? That goes without saying because all of us here shoot 6.5 Creedmoor. That is the round we shoot in competition. It is the best of kind of like all the worlds. It's better than the 308, but it's not a barrel burner like a 6 Creedmoor. It gives you good barrel life and great accuracy, great low drag bullet. So we're all fans. You do have a good point. And I said this, they do make a good light. I have a lot of them as well. I just don't review them any longer. Yeah, the hate for the China company gets to myself as well. Sell it to Bald.
Did you check out the 1 to 10 new Razor HD Gen 3?
Say that again, Rick.
Have you, he had asked the question, the 1 to 10 Razor, it's the Gen 3 basically.
Oh yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, they released those at SHOT Show when I was at Memorial 3 Gun, and even about 2 weeks before that. Now this was on Memorial Day. They were already out there being fielded and tested. It is a great optic. I'm going to say it's a great optic. The price is very expensive, It has literally a killing combat reticle in it. That is what that reticle is for. And what I mean by that, if I take this Leupold Mark 6 over here, it is not the best 3-gun optic. It is a great DMR, DMM type roll scope because you have your 18-inch holds for the shoulders for range reticle, for ranging. You have 12-inch for the head. So when you're shooting for man-sized targets, they're great. But when you start getting into these smaller targets for 3-gun competition and distance, it's horrible. I'm not going to say that the Razor HD 1-10 is horrible, but it is a killing optic and a reticle in that thing. That's what that's for. I think, okay, I can't say who, but I've been there. You guys would be amazed at what military units use the Vortex Razor HDs. They go all over the world on some of the most top tier and elite units you can possibly imagine. Okay, I can tell you that as fact. It's not hearsay. Been there, done that, seen it. Okay, which is surprising, but that's what that optic is geared towards.
I have some very good buddies of mine that like razors, and they do use them at other places.
Yes, and we're talking about the same people.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief as well. In 3-gun, I think 10 power is too much. I think anything past 6 is a lot.
Yeah. 6 is really all you need. 8 is a little better, and that's why everybody started going to the 8s. You still have some older companies that aren't going to do it. They're getting there, but you guys would be surprised at how many USASOC and special operations guys actually shoot 3-gun. The days of the old mindset being, oh, well, cops and law enforcement or military, these guys shouldn't shoot 3-gun. It's not real-world application. That is complete and utter bull crap. Okay, it makes you a better shooter, warrior, whatever, and you will see a lot of those guys at these events. A lot of them don't do as well as you think, but for the most part, if there's some really elite force, like if they're attached to Delta or 3rd group, 5th group, they're going to finish decently well. But usually privateers win,
which is pretty cool in one instance and not really cool in the other.
Yeah. Red October. This is a great question. I'll let you guys answer first. Rick.
I don't even see it. Has anyone ever shot a quarter dead center on the range with their rifle? No, but a quarter is a little bit bigger than an inch, I believe. And I am studying and practicing my fake whatever test. And after 4 minutes of exercise, you get 60 seconds to get your gun all set up and shoot a 1-inch pasty at 100 yards.
Bryson?
Yeah, I haven't shot one, but I know the same drill that Rick is talking about, and I can easily put rounds in that 1-inch circle. So I'm sure it's doable and fairly reasonable, but I just haven't shot a quarter. I haven't taken the time to set that up.
Well, yeah, Eagle Eye. Welcome, Eagle Eye. Welcome, Ken. He says defacing currency is a federal crime. Yeah, whatever.
Quarter isn't really anything. I mean,
yeah, that's smaller than a quarter.
Yeah.
Okay, so Red October, in complete honesty here, there were a lot of guys that were snipers that did this for work, and there was a bet one day, and we taped quarters up, hand on the Bible, first shot, iron sights, 200 yards. I still have the quarter to this day. I took everyone's money. Was it luck? I don't think it was, because I was really, really good with that rifle with irons, and it was 200 yards, 100 yards, dead center, 308. Iron sights.
So it's basically a quarter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we could easily do that.
Without
Not
now, what I
iron
have
sights
done,
like that.
if you guys are interested, is I have shot a penny on its side like this. It's an old video with a BB gun or pellet gun. I can't remember, BB gun or pellet gun. I don't know, whatever distance it was, but it was like a trick shot fun thing.
Hey, we split the bullets with that knife you have, Rick.
That's true.
And you still have the half 40 cal. Go ahead and show that. Yeah, if you guys can see that, that's actually a 40 cal
I got the
right down the middle.
The only fun thing that I've done is I have thrown a quarter up and shot it with a pistol from draw. I drew my pistol out and shot it.
All right, so that's the bullet. Now flip the other half over so they can see.
Oh.
That is complete in half. It looks like a pistachio shell. 45 Auto said he can hit a trash can lid from 10 yards.
You should have. Did we ever put that on video when we were shooting the arrows over the trees? And into
no, we did not.
That was fun.
I would do
Y'all
it.
should try to shoot a dime shot.
I'll do it.
I mean, Rick hasn't even been shooting that long, and I would put money that within 5 shots, he could center punch a dime with his Tika shooting the 147s at 100 yards. There's no doubt in my mind. Not the first shot, cold bore. He'll miss the whole piece of paper. But now he'll be about 1.5 inches low and about a 1/2 inch left.
I'll be 2/10 down. I need to go 2/10 up and 1/10 right.
Yeah, there you go.
If you'd ever go to the range.
Lakeview says he can hit a lifesaver from 30 yards with a bow. And I do believe that because bows are crazy accurate. I actually did a video and I had Sam shooting a pistol. And of course, that longer sight radius, I outshot the heck out of them. Bows are crazy accurate.
Yeah,
Red October says, that's your next video, Rick. You're always looking for ideas.
Always looking for ideas.
All right, guys. I was only planning on doing an hour, so we'll do 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we've got 9 minutes left. If you have any questions, get them in. I do appreciate you guys. Not cold bore. He'll miss the whole mountain.
Man, it's getting tough in here, guys.
It's getting bad. So, guys, I am going to run some banners across the bottom while we're wrapping things up here in the next couple minutes. Defender Ammunition Company, I can't say enough good things about those folks. Those guys have sponsored me for many years. I've never had a single issue with any of their ammunition, and their 69 grainers are some of the best you'll shoot out of your 5.56 if you're wanting for accuracy. I can't say enough. Triggertech, they're kind of new to me, and I believe someone asked earlier. I didn't have a chance. I have not installed that Triggertech yet. It's upstairs, but that's what I'll be running at Bushnell Elite.
Yep.
All right.
I've seen that video, Jackson. Tybosaurus Rex shooting that water.
So, I love this one. I got to put this up. Hold on. I got to find it. Bald and Curious. Bryson is the son X-Ring never had. Yeah, but you've never seen my daughter shoot either.
Yeah, she'll shoot very well. That is true. Actually, you have showed her shoot.
Yeah. So, Jackson, Tybosaurus Rex has a video of hitting a water bottle at just shy of 1,000 yards on a second shot. Definitely doable. Bryson can tell you we'll set up on the 1,000 yards and we will do like it's the size of a head at 1,000 yards. We'll do that cold bore and they'll just ding them all day long. Now, I'm typically shooting 153 grain A-tips. I know that's an expensive round, but if you want the most accurate round you will ever load, it is the A-tip match. You know, they cost about $90 for 100, so close to $1 a bullet, but it's definitely doable, no problem.
Florida bearded fisherman. Most definitely.
Yeah, Jackson, I'll tell you, I helped Defender develop that round in the beginning.
That's my go-to 3-gun long-range round.
Correct.
They've changed it a little bit over the years, though.
What is up, Todd, with Elfster's Rifle and Reloading?
There's Elster.
X-Ring operator. Oh, my goodness. Would you quit that? I am not an operator. Okay, hold on. Operator, may I help you?
You gotta add the accent, though.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you, Todd. Yeah, I'm not even going there. Thanks for putting me in touch with Cody. That was an awesome mount. Video's been done. He's just waiting for me to release it till he gets some more inventory. So guys that are just joining that don't know, but if you haven't checked out Elfster's reloading, hold on, where did he go?
You gonna answer the poor guy's question or what?
Elfster's rifle and reloading. Go over there and check them out. What's the question?
Do you think a 20 or 22-inch proof carbon fiber barrel 6.5 Creed AR-10 will reach out to 1,000? I answered him, but I'm sure he wants to hear from you.
Where is that?
It's up a ways.
Okay, Florida. Do you think a 22-inch proof carbon fiber barrel and 6.5? Oh, absolutely. My competition gun that I can't show you, I have a 20-inch proof in 5.56, not 6.5 Creedmoor. In Wyoming, and this was no, actually, I'm sorry, it wasn't in Wyoming. It was at the JP
New Mexico.
JP Rifles Blue Star Range. I hit 2 shots consecutive with a 20-inch proof barrel, 5.56, shooting Black Hills 77 grain. Target was 30 by 30. I know you're like, that's huge, but 30 inches by 30 inches at 1,350 yards. So yes, your 6.5 will absolutely do it.
Yeah. The capabilities of a 6.5 are unbelievable.
It's a laser beam. It's a freaking laser beam.
It's good, no doubt about it.
Why don't you just go 2 hours and call it a 2-hour chat?
We'll go as long as we have people on here. Right now we have 50 people, so we've got a good group. So thanks for joining in. But I'm glad Todd's actually on here. There was a question that came up last night, and maybe he's still on here. I think he might be. I do remember your video, Todd, where you had taken your RPR, and I think you had it rebarreled with a Krieger. And a gentleman was asking what's the best setup to go with in his RPR. And I referenced your video, and I couldn't remember if it was a Krieger or not, if it was a straight drop in, or if someone had to do a lot of cutting for it. But if you could maybe answer that, because I know that was a tack driver, because he was shooting it at 500, and his groups were really good.
That bald and curious guy's been drinking
again. Ask Todd, who told him about F3 Machine. Well, this is awesome. Everybody knows everyone, because you got Ken that knows F3R Machine. Good stuff.
Yeah, I need to get one of those mounts. I like the mount that I have on my optic right now, but that's the next step. As soon as they get that machining stuff done, that's next step for sure.
Yeah, awesome. I'm hoping to hear back from Cody on that. Just gave him some ideas on some things that needed to be added, or I'd like to see added if he wants to make that really a
Yeah, if you could add the LRA to that on the side, it would be unbeatable.
Yep. No experience with the new Sig Cross. Can't speak of it. Arkin Optics, I believe we have Ken with Eagle Eye Shooting. That isn't Arkin the one that he's talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so Eagle Eye is there. He is the guy to talk to. The EP4 scope is excellent value, and Ken knows his stuff, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's got a good combo set for a good price right now. It's like he's like giving away the scope mount, basically. So make sure you guys get over there to Eagle Eye Shooting and check it out.
Yeah, guys, and if you have not checked out Eagle Eye Shooting, he is probably one of the best channels that you'll find with long-range reloading content in it. Some of the stuff he says is controversial, but it works. I believe in that guy, no doubt about it. He is taking his 308s and doing stuff with them that guys aren't even doing with 6.5 Creedmoors. And so check him out if you haven't seen it, and it's Eagle Eye Shooting. Go check his channel out for sure.
There's a fire. Let me show you something.
Lakeview also says that it's a great scope.
I have not tried that.
No, I haven't.
Pistol Pete. Sorry, buddy.
Okay, so Elfster has the answer to that question. He said, yes, it was the first direct thread Krieger on an RPR when the RPRs first came out. I would definitely check Patriot Valley for RPR barrels. Krieger does sell drop-in barrels for the RPR also. So there's your answer. And guys, I was shooting Krieger barrels way back in the day, doing high power. I've never had a bad Krieger barrel. I also shot a lot of Kriegers when I was shooting the Lancer, the team rifles, and they originally were Krieger, but then they switched them over to Bartlein. I have no problem with Bartlein. I love Bartlein barrels, but nothing ever shot as well as that Krieger did in that setup that I had. I finally got to the point where I burnt that barrel out, so I got rid of it.
How'd you like that commercial there, Eagle Eye?
What commercial? Oh, he says, thanks, guys. Yeah. All right. Rick, anything you want to talk about?
Oh, man. Yeah, it's supposed to snow tomorrow, so that sucks.
It won't stick.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to get out and shoot, whether it's tomorrow, the next day, or Monday or something. But yeah, well, here's a good question. I already know the answer to, but probably everybody knows the answer to it. But it's basically a gas gun. Say your top of the line gas gun with top of the line barrel, top of the line scope, everything like that, compared to a decent bolt gun, accuracy wise. Will you still win with the bolt gun?
It depends on what you're trying to do. If it has to do with target engagement and rate of fire, you're just talking about groups? Just groups?
Just groups.
If I were a betting man, I am a betting man, my tendency would be to shoot the bolt gun. However, gas guns have come a long ways, okay? I've seen some amazing stuff with some of the builds, but I think all things being equal, and I know what you said. You didn't say a top-of-the-line bolt gun, but you said a good bolt gun compared to a gas gun.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean towards the bolt gun winning almost every time if it's just merely group size. There are a lot of moving parts in the gas guns, but I've seen some amazing gas guns as well.
Yeah, that one that Palmetto State Armory 6.5 Creedmoor AR-10 that Coda Boy reviewed back in the day, that thing shot pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but I think, yeah, a bolt gun's still going to give you your tightest groups. Other than that, I don't know what to say besides come over to Is Your Six Covered and subscribe. There's always that.
Yeah, always. Wonder where Bryson went. Doesn't matter.
His house is on fire. What are you talking? He's busy right now.
Oh.
His house. Hopefully it's not. I'm just kidding. But his smoke alarm did go off.
Oh wow. Yeah, I did not have a chance to get up with you, Todd. I wanted to, but by the time you got up with KB32, I was already gone on the overlanding trip, and I don't regret it. I hate we didn't get together. Thoughts on the Not a Glock from PSA?
I've heard great things about it.
I've heard quite a few people say good things about them. I have no experience with it. I think it's $300.
Yeah, and it's almost. Well, even everything's got to be identical because you can, the whole pistol group stuff you can put in as far as everything's the same.
Yeah. I don't know. I probably won't buy another pistol for a long time. You know, now that I primarily shoot the 2011s, and that's all I've been shooting for years now. And now for this event here, because it's a ruck match and because it's not pistol intensive, I'm probably going to just carry a Glock 17, call it good. No reason to even carry a 34 or anything like that. But pistols just right now, I've got enough of them. I'm not really looking at any pistols. I keep track of what's coming up, though. You know, the big talk at SHOT Show was that alien pistol.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. If they actually produce enough of them and the cost comes down, it does have some benefits. Right now they got that $500 full kit or $5,000 full kit, and people are liking it. Something different, something a little new, kind of it's basically the new fancy shiny object right now for a lot of gun guys. So I got something that's better than that, so I don't really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so Bobby Brown has a great question. Have you ever noticed the difference in quality and consistency between a Vortex Razor and a Night Force scope? I have a lot of experience with those two products, and I mean a lot. I've owned about 7 or 8 of those Vortex Razor HDs, the 4.5 to 27, about 5 or 6 of one of the 6s. They are solid, they're robust. I've never had one go down without it being my problem. I had one where I sandblasted the objective because of a shot near a muzzle brake, and they covered it under warranty. Great optic for the money. However, 90% of my stuff has Night Force, and they are the ATAC Rs. It is, to me, worth the money, the difference in price. And I can't really say much about reticle choices now, because now you do have better reticle choices with the Vortex line, because they do offer the trimmer 3s and everything else. But the glass, in my opinion, yeah, the glass, in my opinion, on a Night Force is better, period. Is the Vortex going to do everything the Night Force will do? Of course it will, but I can't compare the two. You
okay?
good over there, Bryson?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry about that.
You forgot some food, didn't you?
No, no, that is not what that was at all. That was someone watching a baseball game, not paying attention when we got the wood stove going.
Were they watching family members?
Maybe, but we'll save that one. Whew.
Oh, man, these are some great questions. Okay, so we'll answer this very quickly here. Hold on, I got to get back to it. Okay, so what cool thing do we need to put on our long-range rifle? It says, Ray and Eagle Eye killed my bank account this week. As long as you've got a scope, a level, good rifle, good mount, you're good to go. You don't really need anything else on that. Maybe a dope card if you're going to do competition or something like that, but I think you're good. Adam Knapp says, I'm still learning how to read wind well. My biggest challenge. Shooting over valleys and reading the wind is almost impossible. Yes, it is, and that's one of the hardest shots you'll ever make, because you can't see. There are no indicators up there. You can sometimes get something off of Mirage through a spotting scope, but the one really cool thing that you guys, I'm sure you've read about or seen it, is that new Trigicon rangefinder that's like $8,000, and it actually measures wind in the air out to 500 yards.
Yeah, I was checking that out.
That is going to change the industry.
They actually say it'll go farther than that, but he wasn't willing to say it would.
Yeah.
He has witnessed it doing farther than that.
Yeah, Jer Bear says, do you have any experience with the 6.5 Swede? I have shot them. I've never owned one, but I do know that they were already doing the right stuff way back when. Took us this long to catch on to it. Jim Gurlis probably has a really, really good question. If you were looking to buy a Night Force to shoot out to 1,200 yards, 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor, what Night Force scope and reticle would you buy? Good question. This is just strictly my opinion. I am a huge fan of the 4 to 16 ATAC Rs. I'm not a big proponent of these monster scopes. I have a lot of the 7 to 35s, and I love that scope. But you don't need anything that big. I mean, back in the day, we were shooting 10 power fixeds, and we were shooting at 1,000. It was no big deal. Yeah, he asked about a Night Force, though, Rick.
I'd skip it.
Oh. I would look at getting a mill set up. I'm a big fan of mill, and there's nothing wrong with MOA, and I love it. It's what I learned how to shoot. I'm a big fan of the Trimmer 3 reticle, especially for wind holds, once you know what the dots mean. But the mill R reticle is not bad either. Oh, donuts. Who had to freaking bring up the donuts? You guys, I'll tell you what.
Hey, I'll tell you this. For the Bushnell match, there is a Dunkin' Donuts within 10 miles of the hotel.
Awesome. I will be eating the donuts. What are the best mounts for long-range rifle scope? I've been using Seekins. Seekins are great. You know, we talked about the one by F3R Machine. Night Force is good. Spur is good. And good as in I've owned them and used them heavily. I do like the Night Force a lot, but I just don't have the ability to hang other things that I'd like to put on there. Do you think Matches will ban the new Trichicon rangefinder? No, I don't think they will because there won't be many of them. Price point's $8,000. And so, like for these military competitions and sniper competitions that I shoot, especially the ones that where they vet you and you have to show credentials, they don't allow civilians to shoot in them. Even with the Raptors at $6,000, they've never banned them yet. So I don't know. I don't think they will ban the Trichicon. It's huge anyway.
I think if they're going to do anything, they shouldn't ban them, but just make it another division.
What, just to use it?
Yeah, it'd be like
no, it wouldn't be another division. They would tell them no electronic rangefinders or blah 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 or dead electronic stage. You can keep the cold there. I think he's in Colorado.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Doug B. We showed some air attacks last night. That's a good optic as well, or a good mount. I've got a couple of them down here. I love them. They're very, very strong. The F3R machine and the air attack do resemble each other quite a bit.
You see most companies going to a 34 millimeter, basically a scope, right? Scope.
Are you reading that question or are you asking?
No, I'm asking it. Seems like everything's going to 34.
Yeah, and that's been a trend for a while. You know, even Vortex had some 35s way back when. Schmidt's got some 35s just to get that main tube to bring in more light. Yeah, you'll see 34s and 35s a lot more commonly now, I'm sure. Eagle Eyes. So we're going to see Jim Gurley says, Eagle Eye, I think I'll sell my NXS 5.5 to 22 MPR2 to get the Night Force you and X-Ring recommend. Not really happy with that. No. As a matter of fact, Bryson owned that scope.
Yep.
Because I sold it to him.
Yeah. So it's a great optic when you're first getting in a long range, but you really need something with a different reticle if you want to get better. Having something like the Tremor 3 or very similar to the Tremor 3, which is in my loophole right now, there's no comparison. It's unbelievably easy to do what you need to do. Plus, you have so much more in your reticle that you can work with.
Yeah. Jerry Parker, I'm going to let Rick answer this question.
See if I can get that to load.
Is the 24-inch barrel too long for 5.56? No. I have a Lothar Walker old school 24-inch stainless barrel. And that thing, I actually got ammo for it today, and we were hitting 1,000 yards at a 10-inch circle and hitting it. And
yeah, Rick actually surprised me with that rifle. I had known Rick for probably 2 years. He shows up at the house. No, 3 years. He shows up at the house, and he's like, "Well, I got this rifle here." And I couldn't see it because he had camouflaged it out, so it just looked like a big blob. He goes, "This thing's got some kind of one of them Lothar Walthers." I said, "A Lothar Walther, really?" We put some loads up, put it together, and that thing is an absolute tack driver. Rock River used to make some really nice 24-inch 5.56s. So I do not think it's too long, but it is pretty much dedicating it just for precision rifle shooting.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever seen Ray's he was all excited. He runs over and starts pulling some ammo for it, and he's all, you could tell he liked that rifle. I was like, yeah.
TB says, Ray, do you have a video on the difference between MOA and MIL? I do, and it is actually my most successful video. I did that in the basement here one night, and it took me a couple minutes to do. That is insane. That I've never been able to produce a video that gets more views than that one. Now, I do want to address this one. I'm going to start with Rick. This guy found us on accident. So, Rick first.
Tell us who you guys are and put your links. I am Rick with Is Your Six Covered, and I've been in the fire service for 30 years, and I actually work in California, and live in North Carolina. So I fly back and forth. I do a rotation of 8 days on, 16 days off. But I moved out here 5 years ago to live in America and do a lot more shooting. So that's me. I've been doing YouTube now for, I don't know, 5 years maybe. And I think I'm at, I don't know, close to 6,000 subscribers. That's me.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Bryson?
My name is Bryson Allen. I'm an 18-year-old competitive shooter. I've shot professionally for quite a few years, just shooting 3-gun, USPSA, PCC, all that kind of stuff. But I came from that industry, and buddies with Ray, and kind of get to be on the channel every now and then, which I'm grateful for. I do most of my stuff on Instagram and Facebook. It's just at Bryson Shoots. Not a big, huge guy, but trying to enjoy the shooting industry.
All right. Thank you for that, Bryson. All right. Since I'm hosting the channel, I mean, you guys got to tell who you were. So I'm X-Ring. Started the channel about 2 years ago because of that guy over. Man, this camera being backwards is crazy. Because of that guy over there, I saw Rick carrying a camera around. I was like, what are you doing? He said, I'm doing a YouTube channel. I thought it was really goofy. I knew nothing about YouTube, unless I was researching something. And so started the channel, and it did really well. I was really surprised. I have a lot of stuff that I bring to the channel, everything from long-range shooting to 3-gun to machine guns, you name it. So it's been a really great experience. I'm glad I got involved with it and get to meet some really, really good guys, made some really good friends along the way. 10 millimeter in competition shooting, never seen it. Okay, I just maybe don't do that type of competition, but you will never see one in 3-gun. You're probably never going to see one in USPSA unless the guy's just trying to prove a point. Maybe if there's a hunting competition, I don't know, maybe, but I will agree with Eagle Eye. I'm also a big fan of an open center with a dot in the middle. It does make things a whole lot easier. Hold on, let's see here.
Especially on small targets.
Yeah, there you go. Buy your firearm, learn your firearm, then upgrade it as needed. Good point there. I've always said, because I was told this years ago, fear the man with one gun, not the guy that's got the huge collection. The guy with the one gun is going to know how to use that gun. He's going to know how to use it really. Fear the man with one rifle. Usually I think that's exactly how it was explained to me. And that is the truth. A guy with one rifle that spends some time with it, it doesn't matter if you have a $100,000 collection of rifles, he's probably going to outshoot you every day of the week because he knows it intimately.
Or the ones named X-Ring.
What's that?
I said, or the ones named X-Ring.
Oh, yeah. Ray is secret squirrel. He just won't tell you that. Yeah, I don't talk about any of my background experiences very rarely. Rick knows that. We actually filmed a video about a year ago because I have done a lot, I've seen a lot, but I'm just bringing you content on the channel. I am nobody special. My name is Bill from Michigan.
Good.
He met you at a YouTube shooting meeting in South Carolina. Bad Billy 429. That's it. And I know Bad Billy as well. Great guys.
Yeah, didn't you guys meet the next year? Didn't you come back out?
I think so.
Yeah, I've known Bad Billy 429 for a long time.
Okay, yeah, one other thing, since Florida bearded fisherman asked about this, I will talk about a few other accomplishments. And guys, all these guys know me. This is not bragging or anything else. I consider it more vetting of your channel, if you will. All of these things back here, like that was from 2014 Sniper Conference. That is against shooting the best of the best. Delta 3rd Group, 5th Group. Myself and my sniper partner won that, and a $25,000 purse. The other one to the other side was another sniper comp that was a year later, and we won that one overall match. This is not about a me thing, but when we talk about long range, I do share every bit of my knowledge. I don't hold everything back. Anything that I've learned and mistakes that I've made, I share it with everyone to bring or give back to the shooting community. I've done the same with this guy, that guy, and
Lots
you know,
of
I enjoy it. It's not a secret, and it's a lot easier to do than what people realize. And that's me.
Yep.
In a nutshell. All right, we really have 11 minutes, so we'll go from there.
2A or depth, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, you haven't met Bad Billy 429 yet.
No, I guess not, because I've only been down there twice.
Yeah, I thought Billy won a couple years in a row.
Oh, there was a question we never answered. Best Microtech. You had to pick one.
No, SOCOM. Definitely.
Oh, look at that. I read Tim Davis's mind. What model? Okay, so if you're not sure of the model, Tim, if you go to Is Your Six Covered, if you go to Rick's channel, he did a video of every single Microtech out the front made. So it will not cover the SOCOM Elite or the LUDT like this. These are switchblades, and I don't know what state you're in. So make sure you're legal in those areas. For me, it is going to be a SOCOM Elite Auto.
Yeah, that would be my favorite. I don't own one of those yet, though.
Mine's going to be SOCOM Elite manual or auto. I carry the manual just because that's what I have, but it's a tank of a work knife.
I go Tour 6. One day I'll get to see Ray shoot in person. It's no big deal. I shoot like everybody else. He also carries a LUDT as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Todd, we covered that topic already. I think it's a good optic, but I think it was built for a different purpose. I know it was, actually, than 3-gun.
Am I going to go live once this is?
Are you going to go live? Yeah. So if you want, Rick can go live afterwards. I don't know. That's entirely up to him, but I'm going to end this in 9 minutes.
All I know is I got to pee. So that's priority. So I might go live, but we'll never know.
Jackson said, what power do you suggest to use on the scope when shooting at 100 yards? I'm not a big fan of huge power. A lot of guys just immediately crank it over to the highest thing they have. And matter of fact, this guy cannot touch a spotting scope without running it up to like 60 power. I don't care if it's 30 yards away. And I put my eyeball in there and I'm like, what are you doing? Everybody that I tend to shoot with, I think they overpower on everything. And that was one of the things I talked to Bryson about. Don't overpower. Now, him coming from his strong competitive background, are you flipping me off? Oh, you cut yourself. I don't think Bryson is going to have that issue. So, long story short, I am typically, as a matter of fact, Gastonia Sniper, I never went above 15 power in my optic for the entire match. And
less is more.
Well,
to a point.
Perfect example, guys, is you did what's that camera thing called? When you
the Tacticam.
Yeah, when you shot the Tacticam when we were doing the DMM, you could tell that you were way not powered up.
Correct. Yeah, and see, okay, so I shot in a designated marksman match, which was a really high-speed, low part-time event. Rick shot it with me. It was on the channel, and I shot that entire match with a Tacticam point-of-view camera mounted to the scope, and you see what I saw to the exact point and everything. I actually won that match. I won the designated marksman division, and you'll see on there that my power, even though I had 6 available, a lot of times I was only shooting on like 4 power. Just because of field of view, finding targets, because I'm trying to stay a step ahead. I mean, once I'm engaging a target, there's one stage where you'll see that I already moved because I knew that the shot was good, even though it was 400 yards. When I pulled the trigger, I knew it was a good shot. I moved to the next target. There was no waiting to hear that. I'm sure Bryson knows what I'm talking about. You know what you know.
Yeah.
When you pull that shot and you know you're on it, you move to the next one. A lot of NRA high-power rifle guys, and that's where I kind of cut my teeth, do the same thing. You can call your shots. X-ring, 9 o'clock. 7 ring, 3 o'clock. That's where the name of the channel came from, was X-ring from high-power rifle shooting. and calling shots.
I used to do that a ton in 3-gun. If there's a whole array, I shot a match where there was a bunch of targets at 100 yards, and they were just flasher targets. I think they had 5 or 6 in a row, and you had to get a hit on each target. A lot of guys were shooting and waiting for them to call a hit versus people like me who I like to call my shots, and I'm very consistent when it comes to that stuff. So I was just ripping through, calling my shots on every single one of them. And I knew they were all hits, but it just makes it that much faster. And also keeping your field of view open, having lower magnification, and not seeing your reticle sway as much. Being, dialed in on 6, 10, whatever, long range optics. Mine, I think, goes up to 20. You get on 20 on a target and your reticle's doing this versus you drop it back to about 16. That movement is a whole lot less.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not less, but it's perception of less.
Yeah, so in Thinkable, it's our pleasure to share the information. He asked if we're in North Carolina because there's no snow tomorrow. We're up in the mountains of North Carolina. We do some shooting down at Clinton House, down in Clinton, South Carolina, and we also shoot at a range in Old Fort, North Carolina. And I think you mentioned you were in the upstate. I've spent a lot of time in Greenville at the BMW facility in another life, not where you think. So that's it. We've got 4 minutes. WNC, absolutely.
Rick shredding DNA.
WNC, baby.
I do have a blood mark knife, unfortunately.
You got what?
A blood mark knife. First Microtech that ever cut me.
Well, you play with a Microtech long enough, you're going to get cut because they're sharp as scalpels.
Yeah, that was the nice part. I knew when it cut me, it was nice and clean, and it was easy to fix.
Did you push on the back of the blade?
Oh, Jerry's in Fayetteville.
No.
Oh, yeah. Jerry Park. No, that's not how you cut yourself?
No, it was a lot stupider.
Stupider? Where are you from, boy?
Hey, how much time we got? 4 minutes.
Yeah, and TV said, are you going live tonight?
I don't know yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Says, I have butterfly knives that do serious damage when he makes a mistake. Yep. I have seen some nasty wounds from guys flipping, and that's what they call it when they're flipping them. That's why they make trainers. But, yeah, they will hurt you.
They will jack you up.
Yeah, mine was showing off the locking system of my knife.
Oh, you.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I will leave it at that.
Hey, did you ever see when we were at the Iraq Veteran 88 shoot, the drunk guy that...
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Microtech makes these out the fronts. And we were at the Iraq Veteran shoot, and they had a big meet and greet one evening, and a guy saw someone with one of these, and he fired it into his chest because he says it's got an auto stop safety feature. Well, it does have an auto stop, but it will hurt you. And he just leaked everywhere. As a matter of fact, Rick said, you're leaking. And there was just a big pool of blood. The guy was so drunk he didn't know.
The smart thing, if you're going to show said feature, is take a hard surface that's not going to touch you or hurt you to show said feature. It will stop the blade.
Night, Jerry Bear.
Do not use your body.
Good night, guys. Yeah, good night, Jerry Bear.
Cardboard works much better. Until America is no longer a thing.
That's right. God-given rights.
Don't be messing with them. Look at that Band-Aid. Let me show you something.
You got a boo-boo, Rick.
Oh, man. Well, Jerry Bear, thank you for joining us. I'm sure he's already gone, but yeah, maybe I'll try to do one of these once a month. It was a lot of fun. This is my first live chat. We've got 1 minute. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Rick, anything you'd like to say? Any sponsors, anything like that?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my sponsors.
Pure Leaf, Iced Tea.
I don't have any sponsors, so but I do enjoy doing a lot of shooting and really enjoying this new long range thing. And what did Rick do for 30 years? I'm still doing it. I am fighting fire and saving lives in California. Other than that, check out the channel. See if you enjoy my channel. If you do, cool. If not, it's all good.
All right. Thanks, Bryson.
Just a huge shout out to X-Ring and Rick for having me on here, being able to talk to y'all. And a big thank you to Kenzie's Optics for all their support for me. If you guys want to follow me on social media, it's at Bryson Shoots.
All right. Thank you, Bryson. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. I mean, we kept somewhere between 40 and 50 people at all times with some great questions. Anytime we can help out, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at the xringchannel@gmail.com by email. I am on Instagram at the X-Ring channel. And on Facebook, it's Ray X-Ring. Guys, I hope you have a great evening. See you next time.
Bye.
See y'all.